Happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm official. Yay! So, hi. Before I get started on responding to the great points Eddie brought up yesterday, let me clarify. Actually, someone asked me this after last week's video. Let me clarify this on my wall. This is a spiral that I am in the process of making. It's going clockwise. It's made up of postcards, one from every city outside of the United States that I've been to. I'm missing some. I forgot to get like a postcard for myself instead of one to send for a few cities, which is why some of them are just pieces of tape. So eventually someday behind me you'll see a complete one with all the missing cities filled in. Most of them are in the Nähe von Heidelberg. Most of them are really close to Heidelberg, so I can just go back whenever and get a postcard. Now I say completed because hopefully it'll never be completed. Hopefully I'll always have more postcards to add to it as I travel and learn new things and go new places. Now, that being said, it's kind of sort of a lead-in to the topic Eddie introduced yesterday about what it is to be a polyglot and why we learn languages, and touching on the argument that's been kind of happening in the Tumblr world where some people are concerned that learning a lot of languages could be a form of cultural appropriation. Obviously, I disagree with that, not just because I'm an aspiring polyglot myself, but because that's actually really close-minded logic, if you think about it. What you're saying with that logic is that people shouldn't learn other languages, that people should not reach out outside of what they already know of their native English, their native German, their native, Wolof or something. That they should just keep in their little world with their language, whatever language they started with, and then not learn anything else, not experience anything else, not develop an appreciation for another language or culture. That's what I hear when someone says that trying to learn as many languages as you can is cultural appropriation. Are there those people who kind of just pick up bits and pieces where they go and then walk around bragging that, oh, I can say this in Finnish and I can do this in Mandarin Chinese? Yeah, sure, there are those people. But they are not at all, I would say, the majority of people who deeply care about and love learning languages. Like myself, like the other polyglots of the week, like the vast majority of the Tumblr polyglot language community. People who love languages, love what you can learn with languages. This entire new world opened up to me when I realized I could get better at and improve and finally be able to speak German without worrying, without pausing every other word. This entire new world in Central Europe opened up to me, in Southern Africa, in a few sprinklings in Russia. This new German culture, these new people to meet, this new place to explore. That's why I learned German to begin with, was I wanted to see the bigger world outside of what I knew on the east coast of the United States. I wanted to learn things from a new perspective. Like in our history class, all we ever learned about Germany was the Third Reich, Hitler, all of them. And I raised my hand. This is what happened. I raised my hand in 7th grade and I asked the teacher, were there any good parts of Germany? And she said, yes, there were different parts of Germany, but we're only talking about World War II. So I didn't know anything else about Germany except from what we learned about the Third Reich in 7th grade. So I started taking German in 9th grade to learn more, to see a new perspective. It's like having two little worlds inside your head. It's great. I'm adding French and Turkish. My French is not nearly as good as Eddie's. Bravo, Eddie, you make me jealous every time you open your mouth. But it's something that I would like to gain so that I can eventually go to a French-speaking country, either in Europe or in Africa or wherever else, and be able to communicate and understand and live on the same level that I can with German or English. I started getting into Turkish. My interest with Turkish originated from a kind of need I have as I eventually want to study Turkish German immigrant authors. That is eventually what I want to go study and get really well into, maybe write something on. So that's where I first started going, I should learn Turkish. And now that I've started, Turkish is fun, man. Turkish is hella fun. And it's put in my mind, maybe I could even do a grant year abroad before I settle into teaching German, which is what I want to do as a professional life. Before I settle into teaching German, I could go get an entirely new worldview from Turkey, which is a different religion, a different kind of culture, a different part of the world from what I've experienced before. So I learn languages to be part of more than Maryland and Virginia in the United States. I learn languages because they're fun and because I want to understand. I want to be part of this huge, big, fun world we have. So, as a closing statement regarding that, let me just touch really briefly on the Coca-Cola commercial from the Super Bowl that's causing a little bit of a fuss online and sadly among real people that I know. The Coca-Cola commercial, for those of you who aren't aware, didn't watch the Super Bowl, don't care about football, whatever. It was a commercial where they sang America the Beautiful, which is a famous super patriotic song, and after the first line it went into different languages and then ended again in English. And throughout the commercial, they showed shots of multicultural people in the United States having fun, being happy, being American, and singing this song in their respective language. I thought that was the raddest commercial I've ever seen. That was the coolest commercial I've ever seen. And there are a lot of conservatives, xenophobic people who got offended by it. Because, English is the language of America. I have some shocking news for you, friend. No, it's not. Not only is it not the official language of America, but it was not the first language of America. So, the Coca-Cola ad took the multiculturalism of America and made it patriotic. It's just American. It's different Americans being themselves. That's pretty spiffy. And if you don't think that's spiffy, then I don't know what to say to you. I'll have to think of something next week. Okay. See ya next week, and for a lot of Tuesdays after that. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss.